Now, what are some of the biggest myths you come across, or would you like to dismiss regarding getting money for your independent film? Because a lot of filmmakers have these ideas. Like many of the things we just were joking about, like putting down examples of films like this is just like The Matrix meets Marvel. Like, dude, like, and you have it's a $50,000 budget. Like, come on.
Yeah.
What are
Yeah,
some of those
I would
myths?
say, yeah, definitely. I think there's a few of them. The first is I'll just blanket it, which is what you've just said, which are people using comps that are not only irrelevant. It also goes into your question about mistakes that filmmakers make. They haven't done the research to understand even the business they're trying to operate in the sense that, okay, Blum is a perfect example. The number of people using Blum's business model as a reference, he spent 10 years producing content independently with really close colleagues before he even had the deal with Universal. He spent 8 of those years negotiating that deal with Universal. He negotiated a deal with Universal that allows them to release these films on a studio level 1,500 screen minimum with a P&A commitment to be supported at 15 million or above on every picture. That cannot happen again that way. Someone will be as successful again. Someone will do something and build an independent studio in a niche market again, but it won't happen that way. And so by saying, oh, my movie is going to be Paranormal Activity, no, it's not, because even movies that were successful 2 years ago, the movies that are going to be this year are going to look completely different because the model's changing so much. I mean, Roma is a perfect example. That movie should, by all intents and purposes, that movie should be financed by a single private investor, not a tech company, right? If you were trying to write the business model for Roma, you would not have written the model that ended up making the film successful. So it's dispelling the belief that what was successful will be successful, especially in today's age where technology is changing how everything's happening in our business. And filmmakers just want to say, here are the numbers, here's the raw data. The second piece is going further into that raw data and saying, okay, so a movie makes $100 million. I don't think you understand how little of that actually goes back to the pool that you think it does, in the sense that you have so many costs in between the gross and the net that you're not taking into account. And most producers we know don't even understand this, especially producers that are just trying to slingshot deals and, here, like you said, sell you on stats that are not truthful. And I'd say the biggest myth is reading the Monday morning box office gross numbers and having your jaw drop at some of the numbers, because at the end of the day, cut it all in half. That's what comes back, and then cut it all in half again after taxes, and then hold that against the actual cost of a budget and see if it mattered, right? You've got off the top P&A costs, exhibitor costs, distributor costs. Then you have the actual collection account costs. Then you have latency, because a lot of those costs are going to come in late. So many of them are going to be written off as bad debt. Then you've got to have it come back into the waterfall, and you've got a senior lender on almost every movie before the equity even recoups. Then you've got the senior lender's premium before the equity even starts to recoup. Then maybe mezz, then maybe equity. And then at that point, the equity has to start paying taxes. So what are you, again, an understanding of that waterfall to me is one of the biggest myths of what Hollywood has been able to really do a great job, just like they do with the rest of their product, sell a sexy story, as opposed to sell the honest reality of what the economic waterfall looks like. And really smart film financiers get this, and they use it to their advantage. But I think that's probably the biggest myth to me is box office.